Okay, so we just got ourselves some James Stewart compound DLC for MX versus ATV Supercross, and no sooner than we get that, just shortly, a few days, a week, whatever it was, after that released, they pushed out a DLC that had the 250 two-stroke and the 500 two-stroke. And it was $1.99, I believe, so it was a little bit cheaper than like the manufacturer skins, but it's just... It says you get 4 bikes, but you really only get 2. You basically only get 2. You get 2 250 two-strokes that have one for Rainbow Studios and one for Nordic Games, and then the same thing goes for the 500. One for Rainbow Studios, one for Nordic Games. So you get a 250 and a 500, basically. And then one has a little bit of different plastic scheme, I guess. So basically that's it. And when I first got it, I was thinking, oh, it's going to take forever to upgrade it and whatnot. You actually only have to run one race. And so I ran one on the 500 and one on the 250. And then that unlocks all the upgrades, all the mods that you can put on, all the aftermarket parts. It unlocks it all in one race, which is really, really nice. And I've run a few practice laps on both. This is the 250. We'll start with this one and we'll run maybe 2 laps, something like that. It'll be a short video, 2 laps, and we'll check it out and see from there. But so far from what I've seen, it's very similar. We're not gonna run like fast laps or anything. It's very similar to the 450. See, no preload. Actually, I don't know. You might or I might actually like it a little bit more than the 450. Again, very similar lines. I don't know. I wanted to run it on, this is Atlanta. I wanted to run it on Atlanta because I felt like that's a very a track that at least I know a lot the lines on for the most part. Didn't hit that one at all. But that's why I wanted to run it on Atlanta. So we'll see how it matches up. I don't know. I think it's just the same as... Oh, we're off the track. Now, the only thing that's different is, again, I upgraded everything on the bike. Everything that I could, except for the chassis. I did not upgrade the chassis because I don't. I feel like I get a little too out of control, like, if I upgrade it too much. And even not upgrading it, I still get a lot more squirrely with this bike. We get a lot more out of control. And I don't know if that's just being the 2-stroke, I don't know. But the 450 tracks a lot better when you don't upgrade the chassis, I think, than this bike does. I mean, for me, it's noticeable. It's very noticeable. I have to be very careful. Otherwise I get pretty out of control otherwise. But as far as power goes, I think it's just as good as the 450. They didn't make that different. Or not make that different. They didn't... Oops. They didn't like underpower it a whole lot. I really thought they were gonna underpower it a ton, but... Yeah, they didn't. It's actually pretty good. I'd say it's just as good. I don't know. It might be better than the 450, actually. It might very well be better than the 450, which is really cool because we're big 2-stroke fans here. I like 2-strokes. Definitely love 2-strokes. Grew up riding them before the 4-strokes were here, so definitely a fan of the 2-strokes. But the only thing I wish is that they would have done it with the manufacturer skins. I know that, you know, basically really only Yamaha and KTM do the 2-strokes now, but it still would have been nice. They could have done like a throwback or something and put the Honda and Suzuki and Kawasaki's in there. It would have looked really cool. It would have been something really neat, but they didn't. They just did this, so we're just running, you know, whatever graphics kit that is. I don't even know. I just kind of threw one on there real fast, and yeah, that's the 250. So we'll check out the 450 and see how that is. I haven't run that on this track yet, so I'm not really sure. We'll find out, but I will see you in just a second. So we're back with the 500 two-stroke. Again, we're running both the bikes that I'm using is the Rainbow Studios one, if you were curious. It really doesn't make any difference if it was the Nordic Games one. They're both going to be the same, but Both of them are the Rainbow Studios, and we just kind of slapped some kind of graphics kit on there. I think it's the One Industries one. And upgraded everything, again, minus the chassis. So, I don't know, the handling was crazy wacky for me. We were getting out of control. It just isn't... It's really loose. It's really loose. And I'm not used to that because I don't... Usually when I ride the bike that I ride, it doesn't have an upgraded chassis. So it's not real loose. And these bikes both feel loose. So we'll get into this. This thing is freaking nuts though. Whoa, see what I mean? Look at that. Whoa. Now it does, if you were wondering, it does handle better than the 650 does. I mean, obviously, this is a motocross bike, but I mean, no preload, and we just overjumped that like crazy. Easily get this section. No preloading. Oh man, I thought we could get that. I don't know. It's got a lot of power. It definitely has a lot of power. I mean, look at this. Just one little bump of the clutch and just easily get over this. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, well, that section just went to waste. I don't know. I think I'm having trouble pushing out of the top of the berms with the bike because it just doesn't do what you want it to do. The handling's not exactly there. But nonetheless, this thing has tons of power. Oh, get her off the track. Come on, get on the track. Blitz the top of these whoops. Come on. There we go. Try and get a different run, a run that we wouldn't normally get in this. But I mean, look at that. Whoa, no preload. Ride the wheelie out. Yeah. Come on, don't push out the top. Just grab a little bit of clutch, we still get that. One thing that's nice about it is there's no preloading. Don't have to preload with this bike. I think we could get a quad there, actually. Maybe we'll try one more quick lap and see. I think you could get that as well, too. I know guys can do that with the double preloading, but we haven't. Overjumped. I ruined that section. I think you could probably get a quad in this section as well too. So I might not get it for you, but if I just had to give you an overall feel of the bike, it feels like it has a lot of power. It feels like it's more than the 650 that the game initially has in it already, and the handling. Look at that. Jeez, I'm like trying to let off a little bit. The handling's okay. It doesn't corner that great. I mean. It probably shouldn't corner as good as the other bikes, but it doesn't turn quite as tight as you would like it to. I get a little squirrely with things, even without the upgraded chassis. And I don't know, it's a good bike. I think if you played with it long enough, you could. Oh my goodness! I think you could find a setting that you like. We're just off the track. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not used to it. I'm not used to it. Like, I've literally just got these things. And, yeah, I don't know. It's a good bike. I think if you got comfortable with it, this bike, I think you could kill competition like the 450s and the 250s with it. Yeah, we're all over the freaking place. I'm not even focused. Not even focused. But yes, it's definitely, I think, has the most power out of all the bikes in the game. I mean, it should. It realistically should, but, you know, it's a video game. Sometimes I'm not sure if they go off of reality. Sometimes it just feels like it's kind of a video game. And this is a very, kind of an arcadey feeling motocross game, so I wasn't sure, but yeah, it for sure feels like it has the most power out of all the bikes in the game. I never got anything really cool or anything, but didn't have to preload a lot, and there was a lot of sections where I think if you did preload, you could probably hop one more. So if there was a double, you know, you could probably triple. If there was a triple, you could quad, go 5, and so on and so forth. I mean, there's a limit to how much you could do, but you get what I'm trying to say. I definitely feel like that this bike can do that. Good power, handling's not really there for me. It's, like I said, a little bit loose, a little bit kind of all over the place, I guess. The braking's not quite as tight as I would like it to be, but I think if you rode a lot with it, rode a lot on it, I think you could get comfortable and learn how the bike handled, and then I think you could just go super fast. So yes, cool bike, definitely a cool bike. And the 250, I really like the 250. I think I'm going to start riding that one a lot more and trying to get used to that bike, because I think it'd be fun to take that one into the online, the multiplayer, and try and beat out some of those 4-strokes. I don't know, I think for some reason I think it would be fun. But definitely both are good bikes. I think it's kind of stupid that they're trying to sell it as 4 bikes. You get 2 different 250s and 2 different 500s. You get one of each, and they just have different plastics on them. And it would have been nice to have seen them from the manufacturers, but like I said, maybe they didn't want to do throwbacks on like Honda, Suzuki, and Kawasaki. Otherwise, but they still could have, not with the 500 so much, but with the 250s, they could have done just, you know, have Yamaha and KTM give the skins for those two, since those two manufacturers still make them. It would have been nice, but they decided not to. This was, I'm sure, cheaper, and so they just did their own bikes. But yeah, it's $1.99, $2. I mean, can't really go too wrong with $2. I think it's worth $2. I mean, I think if some of these DLC tracks that we were paying $10 for, I think for $2 to get 2 completely different bikes is definitely worth it. So if you're buying the DLC tracks, yes, these are worth it. The 500's fun. It's really fun. And the 250, I think, could be a really good bike. It might even be better than the 450, possibly. I have minimal time on both of them, and they're different. So, yes, I think it's worth it. Check it out. That's my opinion. Thanks for the support. You guys and girls are amazing. This video probably ran way too long. It's supposed to be a short video. Anyways, thanks for everything, and until the next video, take it easy.